This year, the main sponsor of The Crypt is the Forever Young Festival, who had their inaugural weekend of pure 80s bliss last July at Palmerstown House in County Kildare. Some of the best artists from the 80s played over the 3 days of the festival, and its awesome MC and host with the most was Clive Jackson of Doctor and the Medics, who had the massive 80s hit Spirit in the Sky, and I'm delighted to be joined by Clive on the show today. So thank you so much for your time. I know you have a busy day today, so I appreciate you fitting me in.
No worries at all. It's always a pleasure. Yeah, no, we did a show last night, which is great, and I was up this morning at 6:30 because it's my daughter's birthday barbecue today, and I'm one of those men who doesn't let any other person cook the meat. So it has to be me on the barbecue, I'm afraid. I'm a total Neanderthal when it comes to barbecuing. So it's a lovely day, the sun's shining.
I know, I seen that because my brother's living over in England and they're enjoying great sunshine today, but here it's quite dull and cloudy, but not cold, so that's the main thing.
I'll send you some sunshine over from Wales. It's not that far to travel.
Well, so before Doctor and the Medics were formed, you were a DJ in London. So can you tell me a bit about that time?
Well, yeah, I started off as a DJ. We started a club called Alice in Wonderland, which was kind of like a neo-psychedelic club. It was a bit of a reaction because at the time I thought a lot of the 80s music coming out at the time, a lot of the bands, I thought, to be honest, was a bit po-faced. I thought it was a bit too serious. Suck your cheeks in, leaning against the wall and look cool. And kind of with the antithesis of that, we used to have jelly ceremonies with we used to have this guy brought on in a loincloth, and we used to call him Naboo Shreddy, and we used to have 17-pint jellies and bananas, and we used to do this sacrifice with jelly and banana, and it was as messy as it sounds. Used to hate me. But we used to just do it, just to sort of do anything that was not that serious. The music was. I mean, I've always loved music, so to DJ was great, and it was my intention when I started. I had one ambition, and that was to get London club dance floor, dancing to Captain Beefheart. And after about 6 weeks, I achieved mission accomplished, and I just thought that I'm happy now. I can actually retire. No one was trying to know what was going to come on. I mean, the club it was on a Monday night. It ran for 15 years, and we got Nightclub of the Year in 1987 in Time Out magazine. So, it was great fun, and I loved doing it. So, and it was from there that the band started, because I had a mate who had a band, and he bet me. He said, "Oh, well, you're just DJing. You're just playing other people's records. You could never be in a band, and all you've got to do is me. Tell me I can't do anything." So I said, "Well, yeah, of course I can." And he had a gig in 2 weeks' time. And I said, all right, I'll support you at that gig. So I had 2 weeks to put the band together. So it kind of came out of my DJing, and then suddenly I had 2 weeks to put the band together.
That is amazing.
We did it, so I have to say.
Well, you were together a few years before you had your big #1 hit. So can you tell me about that bit of time in between the beginning and Spirit in the Sky?
Well, yeah, we started in 1982, and Spirit was 1986. And we kind of, we did the old-fashioned way, which you can't do now because, sadly, the venues aren't there. You're not able to do it. So we started playing in the London venues, for £15 a night. Tried to get a bit of a following. That began to escalate. Then we started getting some gigs. We started to be able to do gigs where we could get petrol money and drive out. We just slowly started going up and down the motorways and touring, and it just slowly built momentum. And then we got a record deal, and we put out one of our first EPs, reached #1 in the old indie charts. I mean, some people may not remember, but in those days you had the main chart, indie chart, and that was just for people on an independent label. So we put one out on an independent label, and we got #1 in the indie charts, and we thought that was fantastic. We thought we're made now, and we thought that was our career. We were just going to stay as this little quirky indie band, and then in 1986 we released a song called Spirit in the Sky, and it all changed.
It all went crazy.
A little bit, yeah, and it still is. I'm waiting for it to start calming down.
Oh, well, it was a cover of a Norman Greenbaum song, so why did you choose that particular cover?
Well, we always did covers. We've always played covers. We always liked doing covers amongst our stuff. And that was a song we had messed about with. None of us can actually remember if we played it live prior to us releasing it, but we used to rehearse it and play and muck about with it. And when we were recording the album, our first album, I had this bizarre dream where I was in a place called Lavenham in Suffolk. Now, I'd never actually been to Lavenham, but I knew in my dream it was Lavenham, and I met John and Yoko. And John said, "You want to come for a pint?" As he probably would. And so we walked into this pub, me, John Lennon and Yoko Ono, and there in the corner, sat cross-legged playing acoustic guitar, was Mark Bolan, and he was playing Spirit in the Sky. So I went into the studio the next day. I said, "Right, that's it." I said, "If we don't record Spirit in the Sky," I said, "when Mark Bolan, John Lennon and Yoko Ono come to you in a dream and tell you to record Spirit in the Sky, don't ignore them." So we did it, and now, because of the Bolan thing, if you listen carefully to the record, there's a lot of Tony Visconti tributes to the way he used to produce T-Rex records. So we've got the strings on there and everything. And then in the 80s, for some reason, you had to not just double-track your vocals, quadruple track, then layer your vocals to get the sort of sound that was expected at the time, which I used to hate. And when they were singing "When They Lay Me Down to Rest," on quite a few of them, I was singing "When They Lay Me Down to Rex." And that was my tribute to Mark. So if you listen very carefully to Spirit in the Sky, you'll hear me singing "When They Lay Me Down T-Rex" instead of "To Rest." So, well, that was my little tribute and thank you to Mark Bolan for coming to me and telling me to record it.
That's amazing. So then were you totally surprised by its success?
Oh, God, yeah, because up until that point, we were doing venues. When we play in London, we play to sort of 800 people at venues like the Clarendon and etc. and the Lyceum in London. And we were doing quite well as an indie band, and we thought that was our level, and that would be it. And then when that, we really didn't expect it. We weren't a chart band. We were sort of like an alternative band, as we used to be referred to. And we kind of thought that's where our career was going to be. So to suddenly become a pop band and be in the charts was not expected. However, we were not at all reticent about any of it. We loved every minute of it. The best way to describe it is when I was young, I used to watch programs like The Monkees and stuff like that, the band. People may well remember that. And used to think, when I'm in a pop band, I'm going to do that. And we did do it. We enjoyed it. We loved every single minute of it. We embraced it. And, of course, we then got taken to America, Japan, all over Europe. And we really didn't, we loved every single minute of it. We all had smiles on our faces everywhere we went. It was an absolutely joyous time.
And then, of course, you're known as a one-hit wonder, but you actually had another hit reach 22 in the charts, and that was Burn, which I think is quite catchy.
Yeah, no, well, the reason we don't mention that is because they make television programmes about one-and-a-half-hit wonders. We don't write books about one-and-a-half-hit wonders, and we wear our badge as one-hit wonders very proudly. Everyone listening to this interview, please keep it secret. We had another hit because we want to be known as a one-hit wonder, so that when some obscure television channel decides to make a program about one-hit wonders, they include us in it. We don't want to be left out on a technicality. We had another hit. One-hit wonder to have two hits.
Oh, that is so funny.
Yeah, and they still phone up and say, someone's writing a book about one-hit wonders. They want to interview you. Of course, love to talk to them. Don't mention the other hit.
It's like Basil Fawlty. Don't mention the war.
Don't mention the other hit, yeah.
Well, then, I believe that you were writing new material and you're hoping to have a new album out. So what's the story with that?
Well, it's written and a lot of it is recorded. We're doing it and we're playing some of the songs live in our set. But I jokingly say at gigs, I say, the only reason this is now is because we keep forgetting to release it. The band now is still probably more so, has got the ethos that I want it in it, which is we love it and we have a laugh and we enjoy it. And I think the first people who tell you're not enjoying it on stage are the crowd. We love what we do.
Yeah.
And we always enjoy it. But the album, I suppose if we had a manager, or if we had a label, or if we had someone, a business person with us, we'd have had the album finished. But because it's us, we sit down and we say, what's happening to that album? Does anybody remember the album? Well, let's do some vocals next week. And so it's edging its way to being released. But we had a bit of a moment a little while ago. A music publisher friend of mine got me to record a track. He wanted Captain Sensible and he wanted Wayne Hussey from The Mission to record it. And they said no, and I heard it. And I said, I hear exactly what you mean. Yes, that's brilliant. So I went with Dan and we recorded it. And it was only during the recording of that track, this guy who sadly has now passed away, that we realised that Dan and I had such a mutual loving of Deep Purple and John Lord keyboards. And I said, Dan, this is what we need to do on the album. And he went, yeah, you're right. So we're about 3/4 of the way through it and we're re-recording it. It feels right. Had we pushed it, it might have been a forced album. I wasn't 100% happy with it, but what we're doing now, I'm excited about. So I think it's been delayed for a reason. So we're hoping that at the end of the festival season, when we've got a bit of time, we will crack on with it. And I'm not going to say it's going to be out this year, but hopefully by the time I get to Ireland again for Forever Young, it may well be out. So
watch this space.
Watch this space. We haven't even got a title for it yet, but we're working on we're going to call it Who? ? Is the working title. And we're just going to leave it at that. So eyes and ears open, as you say, watch this space.
Yeah. Well, then, as I said in your introduction, you compared the first Forever Young Festival back in July. Now, the organiser, Sharon, asked you to do that because of the amazing job you do at the UK's Rewind Festival. So how did that comparing job first come about for you?
About 6 years ago, they had a radio station compares ready for Rewind North. There's 3 rewinds over here. There's Scotland, North and South. And they fell out of North. So at 2 days' notice, I got a phone call saying, would you come and compare it from a good friend of mine, Jack, who booked us for those gigs when we play there. So I said, yes, I'd love to, without even thinking about it. And in my action, if someone says to me, can you do this? I go, yes, and then think about it. It's too late. I had the same call the other day. Someone phoned up and said, do you want to do a pantomime? Yes, and then I thought, oh my God, done. I woke up the next day, sweating. I just said yes, and then I thought, what am I going to do? And I thought, well, I haven't got time to prepare anything. I said, just live or die on your sword. Just go out there, be yourself, and just talk to people. Because I know what I don't like about comparing, and I just said avoid the things you don't like. Because, the things that you find offensive and that you find boring or dull, avoid those. Just go out there and let your consciousness flow. And I don't know why, it gelled with them. And the North is kind of like, if you like, out of all of them. Because of that, it was my first contact with them, and I've made some very special friends there. And it just happens, and I say to them, this isn't comparing, this is me chatting down the pub, thousands of my mates. And for me, it's therapy as well. It's just being myself, really, and not trying too hard, and not trying to... And I think, if I have to say why it works, I think people maybe pick up on that. I'm not thinking that I'm anything, and we never do, we had this conversation in the band last night that we're a very ego-free zone.
Yeah.
None of us in the band realise it's about me. And when I'm performing, or when I'm singing or comparing, I'm thinking about the people at the back. Is there someone back there who's not having a good day? I've got to make his day better. And you're looking all around the field, and it's about bringing everybody in together, not making everybody who's watching the show not feel like they're one side of the stage and you're the other, and that the strict divide. We're all there together. When it rains, we all get wet. When it's sunny, we all feel the warmth of the heat. We're all in it together, and that's what I try and do, just to sort of say to people, look, I'm here. As you can see, I'm a 58-year-old man, filled with flares and flowery jackets. If you can't enjoy yourself, I'm sticking my neck out. Come on, everybody, let's do it. So that's what I try and do, and I don't analyse it too much, because I think if I start doing that, I'll go on and it'll start getting contrived. So I just walk out there. I make some notes, this, that, and the other, but I just walk out there and quite often, if you're talking to the audience and you're listening, you're sort of watching them, and someone will do something, or someone will say something, or you pick up on something they're doing, and that takes you along, and that's what I enjoy doing. That's when I love it the most, is when you're on stage and there's someone interacting with you in the crowd. And it's different. When you're a little club, that's easy. But when you've got like a 40-foot gap, it can be quite funny. So, yeah, so that's how it's a kind of, I suppose I've answered a few questions in one there. Sorry.
Well, but you know what? I seen you last year for the first time. I went to the Rewind Festival, and like I brought she was 12 then, my 12-year-old daughter with me, and all. She absolutely loved you because it was so natural. You had everybody laughing. You could see it wasn't rehearsed. You were just going with the crowd, and it was absolutely amazing. And of course, I loved on the Sunday when you come out and you were like, hands up if you haven't had a shower in 3 days. And then we're throwing baby wipes out to everybody. It's brilliant.
Yeah, that one. That's cool. No, what you just said means the world to me. Thank you so much. You just said everything that I've tried to do. So that means that's wonderful. And as you say, your daughter, I like nothing more than the fact that people of all generations and that, that people as young as 12 get it. I like that as well. That's brilliant. So thank you very much.
For anybody who hasn't been to one of these 80s festivals, how would you describe it to them?
Well, it's very hard, isn't it? It's like trying to wrap water up in a brown paper parcel to sort of put a specific definition on something there. But what I say is it crosses the age gap. It's families. You get all sorts of people there. Mm-hmm. And I suppose because it's the 80s, there is something special about the 80s. And I think 80s festivals have been going on longer than 10 years. In other words, they should have gone for about 10 years, and then there should have been 90s festivals.
Mm-hmm. But
it
still
doesn't transfer. So the 90s doesn't transfer so well with the style of music, the style of performers, that the 80s does. I suppose the 80s was the last decade. People were putting on shows and touring and gigging. So you've got people who's talented on stage as Mature, Jimmy Somerville, Kim Wilde, and they come out and they put on these shows that still carry it along. So there is something special about live performances of the 80s. And I think that with what that does is it binds people together and brings us together for one. We're all there for the same reason, and we're all there to smile. We're not there to listen to political songs. We're not there to worry about what's going on in the world. As I say at my introduction, I always say, when you come through that gate, you leave your worries at the gate, and the rest of the world's problems stay at that gate. We're here now, forever young. Rewind. When you're in here, this is what we're all here together, and this is our weekend. And when you have that joy, I think people take that joy. It goes beyond the weekend. It goes beyond the boundaries of the field. It goes beyond that weekend. They take that happiness into their lives, their families, their work, and that's, in this day and age, that's a brilliant thing to do. So, however it works, I don't know. Why it works, I don't know. I just know it does, and that music and those performances make us all, we all leave there with a happier heart than when we walked in, and that is so important in this day and age.
And that is so true. You feel you're there, you feel like you're part of just this one big family. Everybody gets to know everybody standing around them. It's an amazing weekend. There's no words, absolutely no words to describe how good an 80s festival is.
And if you could put a finger on it and say, yes, that's why it works, then, everyone will be doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not that simple. And I've got to say a big massive up to Sharon, because I think a lot of this stems from her.
Yeah.
Her enthusiasm, her joy, her vision. And I think that is something I connected with very early on, and that kind of makes me think, I'm not just comparing a festival here, comparing it to something special. And I think that, subliminally gets into your consciousness, your body shape, your mind, your smile, and I think it makes you behave in a different way. So we have to give massive credit to her for having this vision and starting it, and doing it in such enthusiasm that it's infectious. And it comes right across the board. And when I was almost crying when she was on stage.
Yeah.
She has come through. She's in a Rewind Festival. She said, "I want to do that," and And what a way to stand on stage and look at your vision.
Oh, it was unbelievable, and she was just so overwhelmed by the whole thing. She just couldn't believe it had all come together like it did.
Absolutely, and it's a marvellous thing.
Well, Clive, are you back with us next year for the next Forever Young?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say. That kind of says it. There you are. I'm not Mr. Subtlety there. I'm not sure if I'm officially allowed to say yes, so I'll unofficially say probably.
Maybe. But you know something? It wouldn't be an 80s festival without you comparing it.
As things stand, yes.
Excellent.
Excellent. And I can't see anything stopping it if it's going ahead. So, and I'm really looking... do you know what? I'd be bitterly disappointed if I don't get there for whatever reasons. I can't see it happening, and I'm just so looking forward to it. We had to fly last time because we had a gig the night before. This time I've said, right, I'm going by ferry. I'm going to take my time, get in my car, enjoy the journey, get there relaxed, get excited. So if anyone phones me up for a gig the night before this year, it's a massive no. I'm on my way to Ireland, and I'm going to be doing it in my own time with a big smile on my face.
Well, listen, Clive, thank you so much for taking the time to come on with me today. I know it's your daughter's birthday barbecue, so wish her a happy birthday from me, and thanks so much for taking the time out to do this.
It's always lovely to do interviews and to discuss music and concerts and festivals. It's my joy and it's my life. So thank you for giving me the time. And anybody out there, Forever Young next year, if you've never been to a festival, make this your first. You won't regret it.